You know that, baby, you deserving the best. Yeah, yeah. Go take a look up in the mirror. You gotta see a little clearer. Who's that woman looking right back? And she's a beauty queen, bad. You ain't nobody's number two. These men, they should be fighting.
Bang, bang, bang. What it is, YouTube? It's your not so average project manager. It's Savage in the building. And I really put out this content to show you how construction planning has been going by, how construction planning helps in flexibility, helps in cutting costs, how it helps. So I have an Excel sheet put out, drawn out, and it's going to stretch out to the end of this video. It's drawn out to see how different sheets can be collaborated and how work can be collaborated, how subcontracting can easily be interlocked, and how workflows, how you make your workflows easier. So as you're not so average PM, I'm not going to waste much of your time. We're going to kick it in. The initiating process is the first stage in the production life cycle of construction. It identifies the business opportunity, what we are trying to achieve, and identifies the major stakeholders, most important stakeholders that are going to be needed in the project. Now this helps us build a project charter which gives us an overview of what we're trying to achieve, the objectives, our goals, our problem issues, our deliverables, our scope. In this case, we're trying to achieve a modern facility with new shopping experience. By so doing, we are putting together a project team that will help you define the project resources and their costs. It will also help you now to move on to creating your work breakdown structure. As you've identified your team, you will now break down each activity they are going to do. Mainly in this case of construction, it's usually the contractors who actually do the build. So we are dividing their activities into durations and days, and I put an extra column for the scheduled value, but then it shows how each day is scheduled for what activity, and it also could also interlock other activities, such as when you're backfilling, you could also be buying gravel, you could also be buying cement for the next stage. So it gives you a forward look on where you are going with the project. Now as you go down, I've put down this into phases. So there's phase 1 where there's the superstructure, where there's the foundation, and then all the activities pertaining to that foundation, which are setting out backfilling, footing, the hard core, the slab, and the concrete. And it goes down into the number of days we're expecting the project to end. It's basically the project duration. As I've put it down in stages, now we're also going to the superstructure, which there will be more of brickwork rather than the actual foundations. The team we had put together from the initiation process, in this case it was a very important stakeholder, which is the quantity surveyor, helped us put down all the necessary materials that are going to be needed for the build. These were broken down into phases of foundations, superstructure, first floor, and decking. Now it is highlighted in blue because we are done with this stage, and we're moving forward to building the superstructure, which is mostly the brickwork. But this stage stretches over to building the deck, so there will be a lot of steel involved. And you can see I've put it down as that is a same day purchase. We just go to Grapenote, one of our best steel suppliers, and they give us a quote, and then we purchase the steel that we need. So there are unit prices, there are quantities, and then there's the total in this procurement schedule. Now this is the actual construction cost report, which shows us the exact amount we used for each material, each activity, and at each stage. Initially, we had the architectural designs, we had the council payments before we even went down to the setting out even the water supply. So we had to put all these down, the council approvals, the development permits, the agreement of sales. We had to put them down in their own column. first thing we had to do was put down the water connection, and as materials came through the site, our procurement sheet grew bigger. We had to buy cement, we had to buy garden hoses, we had to buy hardband bricks, we had to buy water tanks, and they are all put down in quantities and their prices. Now there's the estimated cost by the quantity surveyor, and there's the actual cost. You will see that we have actually saved quite a significant amount of money, because most of these materials were sourced locally, so we had less issues with transport cost. I put together the engineers' notes as they came down. I wrote down what they advised us to do, guidelines like excavations, shattering, guidelines on compacting, guidelines on steel fixing, and those whole engineering instructions. I have standard guidelines that I follow on possible delays, counter strategies, health and safety tips, and what I need to do to get to the next stage. So yeah, get your information ready, get your quantity surveyors in time, create a project charter, engage with the stakeholders, create a work breakdown charter, talk to your contractors, and get the information ready. So yeah, like, subscribe.
Baby, you can take this to